Next, we'll measure the inside width of the rails of the cab. And then we'll take this measurement back to the tailgate end. We'll now make sure the rails at the tailgate end are about the same width. Adjust them if need be. Do not tighten them down. We will do that in a later step. We've placed a 1/2-inch jam nut onto the 4-inch bolt from the install kit and then threaded it on the bottom of the ramp, placing the black vinyl cap on the backside to protect the truck bed. We'll use this bolt to adjust the ramp alignment for full bearing contact as the cover closes. While in the truck bed, pull the panels toward you so you can see how the short bearings line up with the ramp. Use the ramp adjustment bolt to move the ramps in or out until the short bearing makes full contact with the ramps without the ramp being so far in that it hits the panel. At this point in the installation, the rails should be tightened down to the cab mounting clamps only and still loose to the center and tailgate clamps. We'll pull the cover closed and then use the cover to space the rails at the tailgate end. When pulling the cover back for the first time, it'll be normal for the cover to be stiff. If the cover binds or is extremely hard to pull back, stop, check to make sure that your rails are parallel, centered, and most importantly, that they're level. When pulling the cover closed for the first time, before the gas springs have been installed, the hinge by the cab will not come up all the way. With the bed cover pulled closed, we'll set the distance between the rails at the tailgate end by using the cover. We'll pull in the rail on each side until it makes contact with the rear roller. Center the rails by measuring the distance from the inside of the truck bed to the inside edge of the rail's T-slot. If needed, shift the entire frame and panel assembly to center it while ensuring you still have the rear rollers against the inside vertical wall of each side rail. Again, we want them just barely touching the inside wall and not hard against it. With our rails centered and parallel at the tailgate end, you can now tighten the rails down to the tailgate clamps only. With the rails tightened down to the rear mounting clamps, it's now time to test the operation of the cover. Roll it back and forth several times. It should be smooth. If the cover binds or requires excessive force, it means that your rails are not parallel or that they're tilting down. If the cover rolls smoothly, you can now tighten the rails to the center clamps. After you tighten the rails to the center clamps, check your operation again. It should be smooth. If the cover seems to be more tight or is binding, then that means that your center clamps are pulling down on your rails. To correct this, loosen the clamp from your truck bed rail lip and then lift it slightly, then retighten it to your truck bed rail.